Hey, everybody. I think it says, and let me turn down the band, Paul Schaefer and the band as they take a fine exit. Give them a good hand, ladies and gentlemen. We always appreciate them. Let's see. It says, are we live? I think it says we are live.
I'm going to try to check.
And if y'all are seeing us, then we know that we are here, baby. Yeah, I can see us now. We are there.
Yay!
And let me hit over on this one, and we're live there too. So I got both screens up and going. So welcome, everybody. Greetings. This is a second look. What we name the show. It's a good title. And, you know, my lovely co-host and, Debonair, seer, healer. Miss Trina, how are you doing?
I'm doing very, very good. So good to be here with all of you. And I feel the same about you, Wayne.
Well, last week was, clearly there was obviously a buildup of what all I could describe would be an attack. Yes. But is the energy in the house beginning to quieted or balanced? Yes. I don't know what really the right word would be.
Yes, it is. You know, it's very interesting because this was a real challenge for my soul, my consciousness.
That's deep.
Yeah. It's so much bigger than like my immediate circumstance. It's a reflection of the world. So this dog is a beautiful, loving being, but through the traumatization, which was broken backs, broken bones, starvation, utter cruelty. I don't think he was allowed to see the sun. He was kept in a cage or a box or a closet. I don't know, but he couldn't speak. He wouldn't bark. He wouldn't talk. He was very trained to exist in a very
Was he a rescue dog?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew we had some really serious challenges, but I really wanted to see if we could rehabilitate him. And Zodiac, my other husky, she was his rehabilitation. And I don't know that another human could have done what she did.
True.
So when we lost Zodiac, his primal tendencies started to show up again, and the fear and the stress and the pain, which was triggered by grief.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this, can we rehabilitate? It's like, now this is the third time he's tasted flesh. So now we have to put him down, which is destroying all of us. So hard because I love him.
Yeah, but Trina, in one way, you're setting the dog free too.
I am, and I'm healing that which is unhealable.
Yeah, I mean, I find it an act of kindness.
I do too, and I think that's an energy that's happening on the world. It's a reflection of
lovely thought.
Yeah, I feel that's coming. I really do, and it's like, do you put something out of its misery when it can't heal, it can't love because it's so traumatized?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you just let it exist in its own pain? And I would choose to let it heal.
I was a wrangler at one time and with horses and got to know a horse really well. We called her Copper, but anyway, she got hoof disease.
Oh,
and
crazy train.
Yeah, and and I was young then. I was about 16, and there's only one way to do that. I mean, you horses, like dogs, we identify with them, and because
there's
they love
strong soul presence in those animals. Strong soul presence. Their soul.
Yeah. So we'll just send Cody just
straight to the highest healing of he can achieve. Highest healing.
I have a feeling Zodiac will be waiting for him. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but it's still it's one of those things, the soul is the emotional expression of our spirits.
Yes.
And it's why it's so hard for us spirit beings to handle a soul emotions,
Yes.
because they're so unpredictable unless you're a very disciplined individual, which
That's
there's
what I
few of
mean.
those.
It's like the power of consciousness, the power of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and the power of tapping into that which is eternal and real. I mean, it's just like I look at you, Wayne. You were abused, and you've healed, and you've become such a beautiful teacher and example of the best that can become as a potential and a possibility, and that's profound.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing when you really, even in the midst of the pain, we learn the lessons that they draw us back to. Again, this is a living universe. And we so sometimes are so one-dimensional when we say a living universe, because living carries over into many other realms.
Mm-hmm. It never ends.
I mean, I can't really accept this thing about that, just because my body may not exist in the atomized form, right?
Carbon.
That exactly.
A simple carbon.
The miracle that I did in the construct of taking, I'm reading this book right now that Amy, thank you, by the way, for recommending it, is the fact that when you discover how they projected how we came into being, the fact that this creation, this goddess created the ability to take from the ether and transmute that into the atom.
Yes. Matter.
The ATOM, by the way, that really does, because the ADAM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like Cody, I mean, that animal is a part of a kingdom.
Yes.
It has a soul. We've captured it on camera.
Yes.
I think the best one I've ever seen was the home security camera that was on a road, and a deer crossed it and a car hit it. And the car, did you see that? Where,
that was amazing. Yeah, you saw the spirit leave
right out of that deer.
Like it kept on running.
Yeah, it looked around for a second and off it went.
Off it went, just like, oh, okay.
Okay, fine.
Gotta go now.
And the one that the house that had the Irish setter that had died, and their security camera caught the dog waiting for its owners to let the dog in.
Aww.
And it reminded me, and I told Lynn, when we had her dog Dolly passed over, well, we acknowledge Dolly all the time. Mm-hmm. And she has actually heard Dolly come up the stairs, what she used to do when she was in the physical form, and bark at Lynn. Mm-hmm. So anyway, favor everyone. I mean, boy, we got right into this, and it was like, holy cow, man. I mean,
it's a whirlwind, and this is about opening doors, and this is what we're looking at. All the doors that open that we don't fully understand, but we're starting to.
There is an awakening, and I know that's an overused term, but hello, all the moderators. How are y'all doing?
I saw something, and the quickening, the quickening came up, and I was like, I thought I should read this to you really quick. It's very, very simple. It's talking about frequencies and vibrations, and how we can remove 95% of all lower thought and emotion through frequency, and how that is possible. And then it was talking about the quickening literally eliminates the lower worlds through thought and emotion. You must remember, each world is separate, and each have 7 major levels of activity, with the lower sections being the lowest form of activity on that particular world. The vibrational speed at the bottom of each world is almost non-existent, as the speeds increase with the streams of evolution or vibration on the journey. These lower levels are eventually extinguished. And in 20 years, through all of this work, these lower forms of thought and emotion will have decreased by almost 95%. So that's the effect of a quickening if it's achieved and done right.
Yeah, and I think isn't the other word for quickening birth?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that
Yep.
is, the quickening of the soul, and that is the mystery. This book that I'll be sharing with the group is quite unique in how it describes the aspect of the soul. And it talks about who the first race, and it's one of the few books that say that we don't understand or comprehend the ether. That's why we don't understand or comprehend, understand, however you want to express it. We don't understand this thing called death. You and I were talking before we went live, and the fact that we're all spirit beings. Well, I'm assuming that, but the soul is the expression of the emotions. That's why, as spirit beings, we have such a difficult time handling our emotion. It takes us a lifetime. And I know a lot of people who, when they exit this life, they begin to revert back to what they were before they came in.
Yeah,
we see, I mean, and there are some people who revert back to a second childhood. And then there's others like us that say, well, it was a hell of a good party. I'm heading to the next one. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it goes on for forever. I mean, that's just it. You were talking about Satan, and I'd like you to talk about what you saw with the cell phone.
Oh, it was very interesting. I literally just had a flash in my mind, and I saw all these cell phones on people's desks, and they had like crystals around them and tarot cards and feathers and all the things that they connect to with their powers and their gifts. And all these people were focusing on sending love and sending healing into the world and into the actual phones themselves. And it was interesting because I saw the connection of how literally it is our minds that program these computer systems, these operating systems we're running through us collectively. And if we started to shift that and focus and send energy directly into that it could change the world and it could change everything. And then again, the association with water came back into my mind, and it was heal the world, you'll heal the water. And then I saw that the world is drying up based upon our drying up of our emotional connection to the earth and to ourselves and to each other. And that was a representation of the lack of the emotion and a lack of the consciousness of healing and loving the earth and bringing the water back and the emotion back and the beauty back into this planet. They said it was all about our consciousness. And if we could turn the earth into the garden, we would be healing the outside, the whole realm of the earth, because we would be bringing back the love, the emotion, the water, and it would become a paradise again. It would literally balance the ecosystem and balance the earth. And it was all through the cell phones. It started with the cell phones.
I think that is a great in the world of all possibilities. It's like there is a solution to every problem.
There is. Yes.
And I've done videos for years on this channel, back in the days when I did much more of the PowerPoint presentations, that these black boxes, these black mirrors have, it's like it's a single multi-organism being that has taken humanity by captivity.
Yeah. And part of that vision too, I saw was the cell phone was connected to Saturn, and Saturn was the Satan, and the Satan has a positive and a negative side. It's been expressing in the negative pole, and it was going to flip poles and turn into the positive pole. And that was what the child prophet said when what she meant when she said that we would see Satan turn into the greatest source of love known throughout the entire cosmos. I was like, whoa.
Well, it's just like I was reading yesterday. Everything that we think we believe in, our morals, our religion, our integrity, character, has all. We got a lot of spirit activity in here. This
I
room
know,
today.
I could feel it.
It's everywhere. Wow. Yeah, there it goes again. All right.
Hi, all of our friends that we cannot see.
Whoever you are, we welcome you.
Hello.
Wow, this is going okay.
Much love.
You're welcome here. I mean,
yes, much love.
We'll put the EVP on and see if we can actually capture it. But as we have seen, this thing that we have based good, evil, love, hate on has been propagated by in other words, we have been led to believe that love is from this being. Mm-hmm. And this being who's telling the story is saying, well, all those others, they're the bad ones. And by the way, this one over here, that represents hate.
Right.
But I just found this one who just told me that it wasn't telling the truth. So is this possibly where the potential confusion comes in, that we have basically adapted to the program of seeing beings as good, evil?
Yeah, because we're stuck in the polarity, duality construct. And when you separate from the all, you become the one. And the one divides the zero, which divides the cell and puts you into a duality construct. So within love is hate. They are one, but we just put a barrier between the two polarities and make polarity out of it in our mental construct. But it's all the same.
So 7 principles.
Yes.
The universe is mental.
Yes. This one for sure. For
sure. All paradoxes have solutions. And it's just a matter of degree. Love, I have seen it. We've all grown up. That's how you first get your heart broken. We call that puppy love.
Yes.
And now we know that, it felt so good, but it hurt so bad.
Yes.
and then we go through and we begin to adapt to this. Well, I can't have love unless there's possibly hurt. Right?
Yes. Right. I felt them again and then it beeped. That's funny. I felt that. I felt that in my thighs.
Wow. Wow. All right. Stop.
You guys got to be quiet. We're recording. But hi.
I mean, it is hot, baby. I'm saying there is okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Bringing them in today.
I think there's a waiting room out there, to be honest with you. But it comes back to this whole thing that, we look at ourselves and I got this book and it's basically how to quit, screwing yourself. The thing that gets me is that it talks about the fact that we all have this conversation and it's with us. In fact, they have done a study. We share with ourselves, no one else, about 50,000 thoughts a day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, the thing about what makes what we're in so strange, and, we don't talk about it much because it was always taboo. Well, if you see a person talking to themselves, right, then they're not. I remember many trips I had to take to New York City with my company doing a lot of investor presentations. And New York City was always a trip because if you start getting down around the Metropolitan building and you go down towards Times Squares, I met you saw a lot of people that were just literally talking to themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I'm realizing they were having a lucid conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But think about it. They're still not doing it right because telepathy is way faster than the verbal speech. Like your mouth can't keep up with the thoughts you can convey when you use your mind.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, Trina, because in fact, what we do is, in fact, telepathy. We have this unique ability that we have this interface that, in fact, they had a study out of Berkeley. What the eye see is like 15 milliseconds slower than the brain is 15 milliseconds behind the eye. So it means we're always seeing the past. We never see the present.
Nope.
We never see the future.
No.
And these interfaces is what makes it so unique, because we are telepathic. We are using telepathy to communicate with ourselves.
Yes. Yes, precisely.
That's mind-blowing.
And part of that, when you're communicating with yourself, can also be part of your soul group. It can be part of your angelic origin group. It can be part of source itself, the universal one mind consciousness. It can be a multitude of layers of communication, depending on what your antenna is signaling into. That's what I'm telling you. It is all about the mental construct and consciousness. You know, Randy's father passed away, and we just had the service, and I got to see him there. And he showed me in a flash his web of consciousness. And he didn't even know it existed. He had no awareness of any of this stuff because he was 90. He was a construction worker, built huge companies, loved to fly planes and drive Corvettes, and he was just a blast. He had no concept of this stuff. It just was not in his consciousness. And what he showed me was the greatest joy for him was seeing how the connections that we make with each other builds a lattice of love, communication, and telepathic communication between. It becomes a family. And it's not bloodline, it's both. But it's a unity that happens through exchange and time and connection. And that to him was the most mind-blowing thing, was when he got to see the ancestors who he had forgotten about and now remembered like he had never left them. And then he returned here at the service and seeing all the people that are here on earth that were his family and his friends for his whole life, and the love and the joy and the memory and the emotions and he showed me every relationship he had with every single one of those people. None of those relationships were identical. Everyone was different. A different fracture of his self was expressed in that relationship with a unique person. It was profound what he was showing me, the web of consciousness that he created through love and connection. And that's what we are. And it was
I'm glad that there are spirits that can have that, because there's the other side of the story of the people that are murdered.
Yeah.
That die in situations that, again, it's interesting how we choose, to see these things. And I think it's great. I've been talking to, and we're working on some things that they actually are paranormal investigators. And it's real interesting because in the conversation, they use a technique where they actually experience death.
Oh, like the movie Flatliners.
Yeah. And it's a technique where they actually, put the coins in your eyes, and then they put the death shroud over you.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, this is next level stuff. And the experience of the experiencer has always been that the thing that we have to be very cautious of is that death is a very personal, lonely experience. Many passing spirits say that the moment of great fear is that passing moment of complete aloneness, that they scream out. They're looking for loved ones. They're looking for anyone to help in that transition. And it's a very interesting point of view when you think about it, that if this is how spirits are being trapped here. But
well, see again, the mental construct. They're calling out. They're looking out. They're forgetting. Oh, go in. it's everything we think is backwards.
And the thing about it is, when you go in, it is darkness.
Yes.
That's
a different kind.
Well, it's something that, that as I continue to read and as the books continue to pile up, we have been taught wrong. We've been taught that this light that hurts your eyes, that you can't see, is somehow the good thing. And
it's artificial.
I'm becoming convinced that it's anything but the good thing. It's a trap.
In this realm, until you
Hello, Michelle Can-Am Free.
I think well beyond the 5th dimension, I think you have to obtain probably more in the 6th to get into the more of it's all false light constructs until you get out of the entire false light construct, which I do believe is the symbol of the Ouroboros. It's the serpent eating its tail. It's the entire serpent system, which is based on carbon-based existence. So it's big.
Jenny says that's why it's important to learn to live with yourself. And it's true.
There's false light and then there's true light, but I don't think you can see the true light in a false light construct until you're out of the construct.
I don't think, Trina, I don't think we have the comprehension nor the ability to even comprehend them. I don't think we can apprehend the thought. It's something that is so foreign. I mean, if I was to say, well, the ether has 9 elements, and each one of these elements are represented in the periodic table under the gas states. And if you look how gases work in the ethereal, as I was reading today in this one chapter in this book, it's impossible for us to see our own end. We're programmed not to see our own death. In fact, it's very difficult for us as beings to think about that. It's also just as difficult or near impossible for us to apprehend what would be life that we consider life, but it's actually considered death by higher ethereal beings. How's that? I know that probably was a little convoluted, but
no. You know what I was seeing when you said that, I was seeing people going up into heaven and going, what now? Because it's like blank white.
So let me ask you right in there, this is a real good thing. And I have challenged some people that have written me here of late. So I said, describe to me what heaven is.
I mean,
yeah,
their own belief system. It's their own belief system. It's all
not one wrote me back. Not one. Right. I said, just tell me what heaven is. Come on. I want to know what are you going to do there?
Right. And then it's like, okay, then you're in this empty room and you're like, you mean this is it? This is heaven? I didn't even get a seat, and then you think about a bench seat and then the bench seat shows up and then you realize that everything you think about, you're creating.
But think about it. Stop right there. Because if most people that actually happened, they would self-destruct themselves.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
They would speak their own destruction.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. This is how you get all of what you think. That's what I'm saying. It's really, you need to learn to drive your consciousness and have control and literally not go with the senses and start to tune into the heart, because we've been trained sensory. We have not been trained heart center. It is time to go into the heart center. And like I said, obviously our earth is representing a drying up of water in many ways, and we need to restore the water and the emotion and love.
Monkey Experiment says it's like sitting in an empty stadium when the party's over. It's kind of like, it's like,
I've heard people say that. And, that's it. It's going to be about what do you think? It's going to be about what do you believe? Yeah. And this is the door. This is that door. It's time to open this door. And that door is our consciousness. And
that's why I was talking about finding. They have the Fox FX has the series on, and it comes on like every year or once a year or something. It's called The American Horror Story. And in the first one, they had about witches. And it was real interesting because one of the beings, they actually were interdimensional. They could transcend both life and death, or what we would call the afterlife. And it was real interesting because they had one scene of one girl who was sitting in a biology class where they were about to dissect frogs. Well, for her, that was absolutely grotesque. She couldn't do it, but that was her hell.
Mm-hmm.
She had gotten through the door at death and thought that this was very normal. She was in ninth grade, biology class again, but it was in a loop. And it was real interesting because Lucifer comes in and says, I never created any hell. You did. He says, it's impossible for me to create a hell.
Yep.
And then you said Randy's dad, when you saw him, that what he marveled about, and it's very important because I picked up on that he had created in his lifetime this network, this consciousness that did not exist prior to his existence, or you can put yourself in that.
Yes.
We are creating a consciousness that is unique to us. It is a universe to us.
Yes. That's what it was being shown. And I was like blown away by that. And it's like this soul tribe, the consciousness that we hold together. Wow, guys.
We have this network.
Wow.
I mean, who was ever here earlier has left, but I guess they wanted to. I have a sense it may have been our buddy Brian.
I have a feeling too, because we asked him to, and if it is,
hey,
Brian,
Mary Wins,
if it's Brian, show up in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. And, I've told Brian many times, and
because we miss you and love you and would love to spend some time with you. Yes.
We're going to do an EVP session in here and pick up, because, they're here.
Yes.
Think agape love and forever. Hi, how you doing? Says manifest your future, dream big. Exactly. If you're going to dream,
yes.
There's
it's up to us, is what they keep showing me. The open doors are us reprogramming the matrix with our thoughts, sending intentions into all of these technologies that we're utilizing, literally becoming the driver.
So we're going to cover this book probably this week, but Trina, you're going to love the title to this. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it?
Oh, it's still spit. Here it goes. Oh, I love it.
So, folks, what I'm trying to say, I've read this book and we're going to read it because basically we are all fucking ourselves and we don't even realize it. No matter how far you think you're on the path of enlightenment, you're still having sex with yourselves in your head, and it's sabotaging you. Because if it wasn't the case, Trina, we should already have achieved virtually everything that our hearts has desired. Good.
We should be manifesting in this world real time, like Jesus with the multiplication of the fishes, like all these magical things. Those should be everyday practices. Everyday practices, because it's not anything to do with magic. It's only about, can you hold that frequency?
Or Vespasian. I don't know if Jesus really
that probably was. That's it. Probably. Exactly,
I don't know. I mean,
I don't either. I really don't. But all I know,
go ahead.
People can do these things, and they can.
Yeah.
And that's it. It does. Most people can identify with the word Jesus, and they think of the healer. That's why it's a great reference point. But it's not about the name or any. It's about the ability. It's about what he could do, and this is what we can do. And it is time now to manifest these things in the world. That is the open door.
Many of them. I brought out yesterday about, John D. And I don't know, we're going to do another study, and I'm going to do a really in-depth one. He's an amazing individual, but the point is, I as you connect the dots, and someone added to it that if you take it from John D. to Francis Bacon, and what he actually did to the whole world, it's probably one of the most powerful spells that have ever been cast upon humanity. And then to see how this then carries over into the likes of one William Shakespeare.
Yes.
So John D., and if you think about it, John D., 1594, 1599, when he was really active, Bacon got the translation to the King James Bible in about 1604 4, 1605. Well, John
How
Dee,
many years? Yeah, how many years?
it's only like 4 or 5 years. And then you have the birth of Shakespeare about 5 years later.
Yeah. All the same person.
Oh, yeah. And I can't help but not be drawn to this thing going, all right, John Dee was pissed. I mean, you think about it. He was the spiritual advisor to the Queen.
Yes.
He was actually vicariously through Elizabeth was invoking a different kingdom than the Vatican.
Wow.
This gets really deep. The Vatican and the Crown of France had a price on Dee's head.
Yep.
And then it hit me. Well, all right. So Elizabeth dies. The young James steps in. He's already screwed up in his head. He thinks everything is a demon. Yep. He looks at everything as a demon.
Yep.
And I thought, how interesting. Here comes John Dee. Francis Bacon.
Yep.
And I'm going, so he takes the material that is the King James Bible for a whole year.
Yep.
And I'm going, wait a minute. So what's going on here? Anyway,
I think, like I said, people tune into different things, and that the work of the King James Bible, I mean, the gematria that's in it, the codes, the 3 layers of teachings, it is one of the most profound books ever written. Whether or not it was created completely by the daemon or the demon, now that is disputable. I do not know, but it is definitely higher works and done through higher consciousness. But what higher consciousness were they tapping into? Or they were tapping into the dual aspect of one, which would be both sides of it, which probably is a truer account because all of us have 2 sides within us.
And it's interesting because that's what our ancestors believed about us, that's yes. they understood the fact that the duality, we yes. are duality beings. That's what makes the adventure.
That's why we have 2 hemispheres of our brain.
Exactly. I can love you, but I hate you,
Right,
it's like,
exactly. We have polarity within us.
And love is, go ahead.
That's the key. When we figure out how to let those 2 worlds collide into one another without any resistance, that's when you win.
Well, I've had the spirit speak to me and said, you're getting it, kid, in essence, because I don't look at them as good and evil. I don't.
That's when you win. That's what I mean. You can look at both aspects and watch them collide together and go, all right, it's good. Do you, dude. Do you. That's it. Do you. Yeah.
And it's like,
whatever that is. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play the game, because what it is, we're so good at it in this physical realm. We have teams, baseball, football, all of them, where you have all play the same game, but all are on different teams.
Right. And when you stop letting the teams, it just crashes the whole game. It's just
exactly. You say, well, why we can't have teams if you're not going to play? I don't want to play. I don't care.
I don't want to. Like, do you choose this or choose this? Dude, I don't like either one. I'm out. No.
Have at it. Because apparently I've been at this a whole long time. And the way I look at it, it appears that there can never be a winner, because if there is a winner, then you have to have a loser.
As soon as you can understand that choice is a trap, then you're back in the loop of learning it until you figure it out. Because if you choose, you are choosing in a duality state of mind, which is putting you in a duality construct. When you understand that choice and that choice are just parts of your program, I'm going to think about what my program is for a little bit. And I don't like either one of your ideas. I think I can try to figure one out on my own. When you do that, it's over, because you're taking responsibility. You're not letting an outside force influence you. You're using your own discernment, saying, you just chill out because I'm going to check this out myself. When you can get into that place of neutrality, you're winning, because you're not letting polarity put you in a reality you may not want to be in.
I have a book that's called How to Go Through Life Without Giving a Shit. That's not mean you don't get involved in things, but
zero point.
Yeah, the study has been study after study that the vast majority, and it's like 95% of people are worriers. They
Yes.
worry about and in fact, I'll just say this, there are so many channels on YouTube and all the other platforms that it's always about the bad things. There's been a big explosion, and and that propagates this whole process because now, well, the thing I want to click on is that, well, what new disaster is happening?
It's an adrenaline bait.
You're
It's
caught.
addictive.
You're in a
Yeah.
trap. It's
Yes,
not
and
to
it's
say you
addictive.
ignore it, but you know,
It is. It's an addiction. It literally
it is
triggers
an
an
addiction.
addictive thing in the brain. It's hard, and yeah, there it's real. We've got crazy things happening right now on this planet, but you have to, again, that's where you have to go into the polarity of it and see, okay, how much time am I spending on the doom and gloom? How much time am I spending in my higher creation consciousness? And make sure that that is minimally balanced, but hopefully operating more on the positive creation point. So it's like for me, once I catch myself diving into that stuff for a little bit, I'm like, okay, I want to spend a little bit of time to pick up on current events, what's blowing up,
Yeah,
what's
yeah. I
going
mean,
on. But
yeah.
then I walk away and I'm like, okay, what areas could use calm energy, healing energy, loving energy? And then I just focus on those areas of the map and counter the energy with the opposite of what is being expressed in a negative fashion, just using the opposite. If war, it's peace. If volcanic eruption, it's calm, soothing. You flip the energy around because both exist in that essence of that thing that's expressing itself. So
Yeah.
it's within its own self to do the transformation. You just got to help it a little bit. So
Well, that's the
that's
problem because most people don't. It's amazing how, and the word is, and a lot of people are just lazy.
Yes, and they
They
don't
just,
truly understand how
yeah,
important it is to flip the switch inside of your own emotional consciousness and your own perception. Because what we think about and what we see about, we manifest. So we can change all of the manifestations that are happening by doing these simple things. And they really do not take a lot of energy if there's a lot of us doing it. And there
yeah.
are a lot of us doing it.
I've been using Marshas rods in the third eye exercises, and it's very interesting because there is a constant. Yeah, there they are. I mean, you do the exercises, particularly with the throat vibration, and start
Yes.
getting into the chants using those rods. Mine are over there.
You got to
Yeah.
work up to that stuff, Wade. The first time I
Well, that's
tried it
true.
out,
I mean,
I almost knocked myself out.
Lynn, the first time she got a hold of him, she did. She put him down. She says, what
Whoa.
did you just do? And I said,
Right.
I didn't do anything. It was
That's
you,
those. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay. Um, it's like yesterday I told everyone about getting a TENS unit. These are, I pulled my back doing some lifts on weights, and it's amazing by using electricity how you can absolutely revitalize those muscles.
You know what I see with that?
I'm going to have to use Marshas rods when I'm doing the TENS unit and see what
When
happens.
I think when you pulse electricity into parts of the body, it literally puts in a confusion pattern. So the body goes back to the organic blueprint DNA code to repair and heal and restore anything that's broken. So I think that's what you're doing. It's kind of like when your heart stops
Oh, I've
and then they
used it.
snap the energy
Mm-hmm.
back into it and it brings you back, but you kind of have hit a reset. Everything's been reset. It's like a reboot. So yeah, I literally think all these products are helping stuck energy get unstuck by that forceful pulsing. It brings forth a confusion pattern that heals your body.
I used it. I've been using it since 1992, and
Yeah.
the technology has gotten better.
Yes.
Back in the day when I remember it had to be by a doctor's prescription. It was very expensive, but folks do it. If you suffer from circulation issues, a TENS unit will do wonders in restoring nerves, circulation. So anyway, we want to keep
They're
healthy.
amazing.
They
Yes,
are.
they're
They are.
amazing.
Yeah.
They are
So,
amazing.
Marsha, I know you listen. I'm going to use your. So I'm thinking about this. I'm going, that could be a really interesting experience, holding the rods while I have a TENS unit going on my,
Oh, sugar and spice, Wayne.
That's what I'm
Make sure
talking
you got
about,
some
baby.
Grounding. Yeah, you better make sure you got some kind of grounding going on. Oh boy, very, very, very low. My goodness. Oh boy, oh
I
my.
mean, think about that.
Yeah, you gotta play with the Zeus. Wow.
Zeus. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's like what
That's
I
the
literally
juice.
saw. You
Yeah.
want to play with Zeus? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting because I just saw someone say about Jesus, and when I see Jesus now, I see Zeus because that's what the name is.
I think
folks, it is. I just don't know how to tell you. It's right in front of you. It is. It's EZUS. I mean,
not
folks,
only that, the reference to Jupiter.
Yeah.
It's serious. Yeah.
It's right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, it really is. So
them Romans.
the J wasn't there.
No, never was.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that there's a problem with the name. And Vespasian could have been an aspect of the Jupiter personality, which was expressing as the Christ on earth at that time, doing those things. And yeah.
The Roman Senate voted Vespasian as a god, which made Titus the son of God.
Yep.
And when you look
he was acknowledged as a healer, whoever this person was, but you, like I said, something's going wrong with this name thing. And the dead guy on the stick, if you were talking about the real teachings of that, it was not about anything about death. It was the opposite. It was about your own salvation, your own eternal recognition that you're more than just your human body and that you have superpowers, and wake the heck up and use them. That was the pretty much, and screw the government was the other message, that was going on at that time. So,
well, but wait a minute. But think about this. That makes Paul in the antithesis of what Jesus was, because Paul said in Romans, the 8th chapter, basically what he said, render unto Caesar that which is unto Caesar. Render that which is unto God, which then makes Paul pro-Roman. Mm-hmm. Well, now, wait a minute. So, wait a minute. Paul was a Roman citizen.
Yep.
These are the same one that they blamed the crucifixion on, which they never could be proven. But anyway, yeah. And getting back to, JESUS, folks, it's ESUS, and that is Zeus.
Yes.
Hail Zeus, Eusus.
Yep.
I don't want to hear that. Someone wrote
I said, language is a tricky thing. But if you really look at language, it leaves you all the keys to the truth. If you can let your heart get broken and get your reality destroyed, because that's what happens. You learn things that you almost can find undisputable, as you have with the whole word Jesus thing. You can't dispute what you know now. You have historical
they
evidence.
won't let us back in. I told Lynn.
That's what I mean. You cannot dispute it once you go deep enough. Yes. And once you have these truths hit you, they hurt sometimes. So get ready, because your reality does break apart when you start to study the power of the word.
It's like I told Lynn, I said, we couldn't go back to the church that we come. They call security.
Right. They say, you get out of here. You go away.
Is that the heresy, the heretic is in here. But you're true about one thing. Lynn and I were talking because I was telling her about and it's a fascinating book when you see where all the religions come from, how that synthesized over the decades. I mean, over the centuries. Yeah.
And it only kind of went through 3 branches.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And to go through that many,
It's so crazy. Yes, it's so crazy.
It's like, okay. But as I told her, I said, look what's happened to us in the last 10 years. This last decade for us has been filled with inordinate amount of challenges. We have been stolen from by others. We have been inflicted great pain. And yet, during this time, it was also one of the most enlightening periods of our lives, particularly mine. She blames me for, she says, by osmosis, just being in love with you and around you, she says, now I can't go back. She said, not
Right.
that I'd ever want to, but
Right.
it has been an amazing decade.
Yes.
It really
I
has.
do, Wayne, everybody's all love and light and ascension. It's like when you really do this work, you go through challenges
You do?
because you earn the level of control of your emotions through these challenges. So the higher up you want to go, the more control they will test you with.
Actually, I think we test ourselves.
Absolutely. But that's, I
think,
mean, a
yeah.
higher part of you,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you can't get here until you go through this and you show me that you're not going to blow stuff up, stuff like that. So yeah, you get tested, but it's you testing you. Absolutely. It's the higher part of you testing you.
I think so. I think we love the challenge. I mean, I look at my life
I do too.
I guess if I wrote the script, I guess, who else would write it?
Right.
Through every challenge, there has come this harvest of a reward. I mean, I was stronger, more agile. My spirit now soars. I mean, I have this group that we have coalesced together, and it remains in my spirit all the time. Yeah. So there, like you said, and to Randy's father, we have created a consciousness that did not exist before this group came together. And what a unique consciousness.
Yes, it's
diverse,
beautiful, powerful. Yeah. Oh, and it's so filled with the things of this world that were hidden from this world. So it's kind of a treasure.
It is a treasure. It's a beautiful
really
thing.
It's a treasure. And it can only be accessed by those who have the vibrations that match it.
Yeah. Jules, hello.
Hi, Jules.
From Dow Under, we love you. And Julie Ann said, I wanted to get back there. I saw it as it went by. So
yeah,
Jules,
she knows words.
that woman, I'll tell you, look how much better we are. Heresy means choice. Hear, see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jules, I wear that as a badge of honor.
Absolutely.
I'm a heretic.
And because
you're a
you
heretic,
do hear and you do see.
It's like, well, we're all heretics on this bus.
Right.
But we have a good time on this bus. That's all I got to tell you. It's a friendly group. I tell people all the time. Now we may pick up someone that just they just got on the wrong bus, the ones that, but that's okay.
And some of those people that popped in and had their mind blown and never came back, it don't matter. The popcorn got popped and now they're on their own way. But yeah, they may have an eternal scar for you popping their reality bubble, but it's okay because later they're going to be very grateful for you, but not right now, Wayne.
There have been a few that says, get me the freak out of here, man.
Run, Forrest, run.
Oh, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah.
And the rest of us on the bus are just looking, going,
dude, chill out. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's okay.
Polarity. All right.
Breathe deep, The gathering gloom. Watch fade lights from every room.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to get back into the moody blues. I can see the chat room. I've just been watching this on the side. They're having a good time in there. Thank you for hitting the like button.
Guys.
We love y'all too. I mean,
no idea. I see your magnificence in my visions and you blow my mind. You guys are amazing, amazing consciousness. And I am so honored to be a part of it.
Teresa says, I bring the snacks on the bus and they're delicious.
Right on. Wayne brings the music and I'll bring the fire.
And, we've got other, I know that Jenny has the tea, the natural tea.
Absolutely.
In fact, that just reminds me, y'all ought to go over on the Crystal Network in Discord. Karen has done, and it's the link is down below, but there is so more new opportunities of being able to support this group as a community.
Yep.
It's important. And the way we do it, you're going to spend money anyway. So if you are,
Yeah.
Robert V says life is good on the bus. We try to make it very comfortable, Robert.
Every time we receive or send anything to each other, it connects our energy deeper. It's like a weaving. It's a thread. It's weaving it deeper. It's beautiful what I see with that. So yes, it's super important for us to connect to each other's gifts and talents and tools and things we create, because it connects us through creativity, which is heart. It's a different layer, is what they tell me. Different layer of connection.
Shannon says, I got some of the tea from Jenny at True Divine 44 and cannot wait to get it so I can drink some more. Yeah. And, Nina, wide variety of products, Karen. And yeah, folks, this is how we do it. Suck it up and bring your cushions.
That's it.
Well, Teresa, I'm trying to get the new seats where they're all, lazy boys, with the full massage, the 1,000 fingers thing, because
absolutely,
we want everyone to be comfortable on the bus.
Yep.
It's not like the school bus, with those seats.
No, this one's
Remember
like grab
the
a
bench
recliner
seats?
And let's watch some really cool stuff together and connect and take a ride on the Magick school bus, where we can go anywhere we want and solve any problem that there ever was, simply by putting our minds together.
I forget the movie John Ritter was in, and Pam Swabber, who played Mork and Mindy. Anyway, you remember that in the movie?
Yeah.
And they were outwitting the devil, because they had got, basically killed. And I loved the Crapper Papper chair, lounge chair. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that part, but
the Crapper 2000, has a refrigerator, right. Never have to get up. Remember that 2000. Scene? Yeah. I love it. Some say that is the ultimate, right? But
yeah. Yeah, I don't want one of those. It's mandatory. You need to move around a little bit.
I'm going to tell you what, if you've got to have a crapper in your lounger, you need to get a better life.
Correct. Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Just a little bit better.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Trina, this has been so fun.
It has. We are opening those doors, and you know what?
Well, see, this is a door that
it is.
We all walked through it. I don't know if we created it, but we've walked through it, and wow.
That's how we found each other.
Absolutely in awe to see. It's like walking through the door in that scene you'll see in movies where you walk through the door and all of a sudden you're in this huge field.
Yes.
And you're looking around. Yeah. And you're seeing, hey, Jules, how you doing over there? Or you're seeing Grandpa Brian, how you doing over there? Everybody is in this magnificent place doing their own thing, but yet at the same time.
Oh, he showed up.
Like, where the heck did that come from? It's been quiet, all the way through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because we said so. Yeah.
I love this. Well, thank you, Deborah Sloan. This is, I'll tell you, this is health. This is healing. Tuesdays, by the way, are healing days. They're health days.
Oh,
so
I
think at a second look, I like to think that people come here, they get a good dose of what they need.
Yes.
Joy,
what we all need.
Laughter.
Yes. What we all need. Joy, laughter, healing, and positive vision. Because what we think about and feel about and see about, we bring about. So
we do.
Yeah. Dream your best dream and plant it into the water and plant it into the beautiful little devices we hold in our hands. Put that into these systems.
Now, there's a possibility for an app for someone who wants to develop. Can you imagine developing an app that would neutralize all the other BS that's going on in the background, because they're collecting everything on us,
Yeah. And it would clear negative frequencies and produce and promote and resonate with the higher, more positive frequencies. Wow, that would be profound. That would be profound. I know they have like these things that you can purchase to put in your cars and put in your stereo equipment and put in everything that convert all of it to 432 hertz.
Wow. Okay. There
It's
we
kind of
go.
the same line of thought. And I keep hearing that that's an important key to the ones of us who have the we win timeline locked in. That's one of the keys they kept showing me, was merging the love and the positive frequency into the actual technology so it could feel it.
I am Paul Atreides.
Feels.
The sleeper has awakened,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and I'm telling you, because you can get down, get into these routines and they become rituals and they just, they seem to drain us. But once you make that breakthrough, and ours came on December 10th, there was a profound change that hit me, and then it hit Lynn, and it's never left. I mean, the polarity, and it's been like, for almost a decade, maybe longer, where you seem to be fighting against this resistance.
Yes.
And inside you have this lingering, it's not dread, but it's like, oh, more the same. And now it's just the opposite. So anyway, Trina, I want to say thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say thank you, Wayne. Thank you for being such a wonderful friend too. Thank you for that.
Well, yeah, I just reciprocate with like energy,
Yes.
Because we're all shining diamonds here. This is the way I like it. Yeah.
It's true.
I love all
shine
of them.
on, crazy diamond.
And you've got that energy back on. And I'm telling you, I know there have been numerous people that have just been bombarding your home,
and I'm so family. Grateful, and I feel you. And thank you, because I was getting weak because it's been a lot. I've lost almost 22 people in 3 months.
Why is the exit? I mean, the door, there you go, finding that door,
Wow. And that's why that when you said that was the name of the show today, I was like, that's just profound, because that's what I'm looking at. Why are so many leaving, and why is this energy present? And then it's literally the quickening. It's all of these energies are getting sorted, and the things that need to help and the positives are leaving to help. Everything's going where it should. And it's going through a spin cycle. It's like the earth has been thrown into a washing machine, and it's on the spin cycle. And all the energy now is starting to go out to the appropriate new earth reality that it will be going to. And this is what I'm seeing.
I'm right there. I'm feeling it. And Basto to all of the soul tribe.
I love you guys so much. Thank you for being in my world.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for being in my consciousness and in my heart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And y'all can stay in my head,
That's right.
Yeah, stay in my head. It's a great place,
Lots of music. Lots of music.
Lots of music. Teresa says the tribe holds everyone up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We as a tribe, we vibe, and our vibration. All of us want to sit at a higher frequency because we know it feels better. And when we fall down a little bit, it's so wonderful, because you guys truly do help us lift ourselves back up, because your vibration, it's love.
And you put on the Band-Aid, which helps the sore, the owies,
Yeah.
Jenny, we love you too, dear. All of the folks that we have from all over the world. Guy and Paul, much love. And I just speak favor over all of us. I probably didn't do it at the beginning, but it was just one of these, and there was just a lot to be said.
Yes, there was.
That's all I have to say.
Much love and favor to all.
Love is the drug I'm looking for. Yeah, I love that. Yes. Roxy Music. All right.
Absolutely.
People, y'all know who Roxy Music is, right? All right. Love is the drug that I'm looking for.
I know the song.
Yeah, that's Roxy Music.
Do you know that my Aunt Adele was a rockette?
Rockette? Really?
Yes, she sure was. My great Aunt Adele.
I knew some ladies that back in the day. Yeah.
She was a rockette.
They had beautiful legs. Love those gams.
She was in her 80s, and she was still doing professional dance classes and dancing on the cruise ships. Yeah, she was a hoot.
It's back in World War II when they used to call them the gams. They said, oh, Trina's got the gams. Now, I don't know if you do or not, but anyway,
I know it's always only from here up.
Yeah, it's like, how the hell are you seeing down there? Yeah. No, I'm just projecting. All right, everyone. Much love. We're leaving while it's all above and, so Trina,
keep it as return to red.
Yes, exactly. We'll keep it above board here. I'll see you next week, dear.
Yes, always, my friend. Much love.
All right, much love, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hit the like button on the way out. You find in the door.